I am a Muslim, and I truly believe Jesus is the way. To some of you, this sounds impossible. How can a Muslim say that? But there is the reality of my life. My faith is not complete without him. If I don't love him, if I don't honor him, I cannot call myself a believer. But perhaps we've been looking at the same map through different eyes. I had to ask myself some difficult questions, questions that forced me to look past the traditions and see the man for who he truly is. Before I explain my journey, I want you to sit with these 5 dilemmas. First, the human flesh. Second, the human dimension. Third, the honor of the messenger. Fourth, the source of power. And the final witness. These aren't just questions. They are the keys to a peace of mind you might have never experienced. I will break them down one by one, and I promise you, by the end of this video, you will see why I say Jesus is the way with absolute certainty. But to understand the answers, we first have to go back to the dust of the earth. Let's talk about the man who walked among us. In the book I read every day, the Quran, his name is everywhere. He is called the Messiah. He is called a word from the Almighty. He is described as a spirit sent from the heavens. Imagine growing up with that. Imagine being taught from childhood that this man, this incredible person, is one of the greatest signs ever given to humanity. What's more, the way he spoke, the way he healed, the way he stood up against the corruptions of his time, he wasn't just a figure in a story. He was a force, a light, a direction. I love him because he represents everything a human soul should be. Absolute surrender, absolute purity. When you love someone this much, you start asking the hard questions. You start looking past the surface. You start wondering, are we truly following him or have we lost him in the process? Let's look at these dilemmas one by one. First, why do I cherish his hunger and his pain? Because a God who cannot feel what I feel is distant, and the desert wind of his face, that is the man who can lead me. I love him in the flesh because his struggle was real. When he resisted temptation, it wasn't because he was immune to it. It was because his soul was stronger than his body. That is true courage. That is a hero I can actually follow. Second, I believe he belongs to our dimension, because that is where the miracle truly lies. Think about it. If a divine being does divine things, that's expected. But when a man created from the same dust as you and me reaches a level of purity that touches the heavens, that is a masterpiece of the Creator. He didn't come to show us what a God can do. He came to show us what a human, through total surrender, is capable of becoming. Third, it breaks my heart to see him mocked while his followers stay silent. Maybe it's because when he turned a living prophet into a cold, silent statue, we lose the fire of his message. To me, he isn't a symbol on a wall. He is a living legacy. I defend his honor because he is a teacher. His dignity belongs to all of us. When he is defamed, the path to truth itself is being blocked. Fourth, his miracles are undeniable. I see the blind seeing and the dead rising, and I don't doubt it for a second. But I see these miracles as a signature of the Almighty written through the hand of a man. It was like a perfect mirror. He didn't create the light, but he reflected it so perfectly that for a moment the world forgot the mirror and only saw the sun. The power was borrowed, and that makes the giver even more great. And finally, he is coming back, not as a new mystery, but as a final clarity. I believe his return is the closing chapter of the human story. He returns to restore the balance and to point his finger one last time away from himself and toward the one who sent him. He returns to finish the walk on the bridge, leading everyone who is willing to follow straight to the finish line. But here's a shocking fact that might save your peace of mind. You will find true rest when you love him realistically, when your heart and your brain finally stop fighting each other, when the mystery clears up and the truth remains. You see, in my faith in Islam, we are taught something very simple. We don't worship a bridge, we walk on it. If you are standing on a bridge and you refuse to move because you love the bridge too much, you will never see what's on the other side. Jesus is the way. He is the most beautiful path ever created, but a path is built to lead you somewhere. A path is not the destination. The Islamic perspective is not to take away from Jesus, but to give him back his true glory as the ultimate servant of God. Think carefully about this. Are you stuck on the road, or are you heading home? Jesus is the way. God is the goal. Don't get lost on the journey.